Welcome back to YouTube Live, besties. Join me for coffee and chisme as we discuss Laguerita's behind-the-scene response to my series, what's been going on behind the scenes, some TikTok pages surfacing. We're going to get into everything today. I'm live streaming simultaneously on TikTok and YouTube. As always, I'm going to pin in my YouTube live chat a link to become a baddie, aka a paid member, which gives you access to all of my live replays, behind the scenes, monthly giveaways, or if you want to start out our TTS through the tip line, there it is. Good morning. I'm sorry I didn't show up to class yesterday. I had a very busy day between school and other platforms. But I've been getting a flurry of messages about this TikTok page, and also, we bookmarked at Carlos Ortiz's sister reached out to me on TikTok 2 days ago. So we bookmarked there on their last live, but I'm going to recap all of that. Okay. So which one do you guys want first? Do you want to talk about Garcia Party of 4? Thank you so much for upgrading your membership. Why didn't it TTS you? Sorry. I think my first couple of TTS, they lag a little bit, but welcome Garcia Party of 4. Thank you so much for upgrading your YouTube membership. All right, which one do you guys want to do first? They both intertwine. I will tell you that Carlos's sister has not replied to me since our last conversation. So if you were here for the last live, there's no update because I haven't heard from her since. And if you weren't here, I can take you through a quick recap and show you the messages. I don't know that we're going to hear back from her. I do just want to clarify that I didn't reach out to her. She reached out to us. She commented on some of the AI pages videos, and she DM'd me directly. I have not reached out to her since because I don't want to be that, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, be the one to be like nagging her for information, right? She came to me. I did ask her some questions, but I'm also not going to be like, hey, so did you get a hold of him? Hey, so what's up, right? Because at the end of the day, I didn't reach out to her. I didn't seek her out. So I'm going to give her some time and space. But I'll recap for you guys. But before we go there, I kind of want to do the other part first, okay? I've received a lot of messages about this AI page in my school. So I actually want to give you guys some back-end information that I haven't shared with you guys ever. But it ties into all of this. So we know that all of this started with the hate campaign in 2023 when CandICE, Julia, and a handful of other creators decided to make content about me and do all kinds of crazy stuff. I have grown accustomed to anytime I am publicly connected to somebody, whether it was Club Vallarta when I was doing a lot of community service over there, whether it's any type of, not even just like an organization, but even people. They receive messages behind the scenes like the ones that we're going to show you today. So I want to remind you guys what these women have been doing and are currently still doing behind the scenes. We know that Julia is still friends with CandICE, and when all of this came out, CandICE tried to do damage control in the same way that the bakery recently did, right? Just kind of wash your hands of it. And I have a screenshot here where you guys can see that Julia Garcia said, you know, it's getting so out of hand. We are still very much friends. I asked her to unfollow me. But pretty much they're going to pretend they're not friends publicly, but they're friends privately. Okay. So I want you to remember this. And I want to bring you guys back to how these people move behind the scenes. And particularly they have a habit of creating these fake accounts. And you know, this is Julia directing those content creators that it's important that those pages don't follow them. Just make it seem like it's a random account and you're going to post all this stuff about her, right? We saw that if you were around in 2023, that's very much their MO. So a lot of the times when I'm in any type of controversy online, those same accounts will pop back up and they'll start posting again, which is what some of you guys are seeing with that new AI page. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and how do I want to intro you guys to some of these accounts and show you who's behind them. Okay, I know exactly who it is. So first and foremost, you'll find some pages. The one that we're talking about today is this one. Okay, Bella Vendera. As you can see, she's a CandICE fan. And I think it's very important to check your sources. Just like, because I'm the source for a lot of this information that's coming out about CandICE, a lot of it is discredited just because it's coming from me, right? And fair enough. If you're going to be taking information from a reporter, from anybody, you should know who it is, so you can decide how credible they are. Now, making an AI page and hiding your identity behind trying to expose me, I think makes you lose credibility. But even more so when it's obvious why you are doing it, right? She is a CandICE fan coming out swinging for her, if not CandICE herself. I believe CandICE, Julia, and their group of minions, or whatever you want to call them, are behind all of these pages. And in fact, you can easily tell that they are connected if you go into the following of... Actually, let me pull up the video because I took a screen recording so we can see who she's following. Right? So the first one that caught my attention is this account called Sabrina's Coffee, because Sabrina is my baby mama, and I've caught her before following these tea pages. Sabrina is Walter's other baby mama, and in October of last year, I clocked her from her real account following one of these tea pages. Now, these tea pages right here, okay? So, Sabrina will follow accounts like these. As you can see, Sabrina SLC Living, this is her real page. You can go look it up. It's got content of her kids, etc. So, she'll follow these pages that dedicate themselves to just making anti-Annie content, as you can see here. Now, this account started in October of last year, which was exactly when I started publicly speaking out about CandICE again. The first posts on that account are in October of 2025. Sabrina got caught following, and she's still actually following her in present day. She's following this troll account, right? So initially, when I looked into the Bella account, it caught my eye that Sabrina's Coffee was following her as well, because I believe that it's probably my baby mama, right? But let's take a look into further videos of what the following looks like for Bella Vida or Bella Videnta, whatever. So Sabrina's Coffee, and you'll see here's another anti-Annie account, not AnniGRC XXL. That account also post a lot of just derogatory content. Like, they'll take clips of my page and just do stupid shit with it, right? You can see here, it's just, and they're actually current, like they've been posting, they're active. Okay, this page goes all the way back to 2024 hate campaign times. All right, they would post stuff from the Reddit page. They would post, just a bunch of stupid stuff like you're a scammer, the GRC scam page, all that shit, right? So again, this is one of Bella's followers. So you'll notice that all these fake troll pages are the ones that are following immediately this brand new page that is suddenly making content, trying to get Annie's university to step in to tell me that I'm doing something against code of conduct or whatever the fuck, right? So there's more, so hang tight. There's it, like old Walter content dating all the way back to 2024. And then if you go into that account is following Bella Vendera, which I don't know why she called herself Bella, but is hiding behind fucking AI. She must not be too Bella if she had to use AI. Again, that account is also following another one, the GRCXINNA, which is another account belonging to these women where they just take Annie content. Here's another one. Some of you, and then look closely at the bio where it says, I wonder what Galaki's college would think of what she does online, and then they tagged my university. So this is where the narrative is born for that new AI page that is now creating AI content, talking about let's reach out to her university, let's see what her university thinks. This is where it comes from, right? So it comes from these women that hide behind these fake pages linked to the hate campaign, CandICE and Julia. These pages go all the way back to like 2024. And so if you just do a little bit of research to who your source is, you will see that all of these pages are intertwined. They follow each other. Now, this is the new one that she presents herself as an independent journalist reporting on public interest topics. She is trying to mimic what I've done with my series and has launched, I guess, and look, I'm so sorry. She's going to get, you're welcome, because she's literally got no views with the exception of she used one of my videos. And I'm going to play that for you so you guys can see what the current narrative is today. Here we go.
So where were we? Imagine building an entire platform.
It's this one.
As a content creator and independent reporter, she is not doing anything illegal. I have to be fair and put that on the record.
So pause. Again, for those of you just joining, this is a compilation of fake accounts that have been doing this since 2023. And they resurface every single time with something new. When I was in some beef with the other creators last year, you saw them resurface. This year, they think they're taking a new approach, but their new narrative is contacting my university. They've been tagging them. They've been DMing them. They've even emailed my coordinator, something I've never shared with you guys. Whoever made this page, you weren't the first to think about it, because this has actually been happening for 2 years. I knew when I made the decision to enroll into my university and publicize where I was going, that they would receive these types of emails all the time, because that's just what happens. Now, I chose to publicize where I'm going to school because I knew eventually somebody would find it anyway and end up doxing me and say I found where she goes to school if I tried to hide where I went to school. Trust, I've been dealing with these women for 4 years and then doing this type of shit to me, trying to intervene in my real life. They went as far as to message people, friends, family, people I've dated. The obsession goes pretty far. And they're now taking the public approach of mentioning my university. But this has been going on for 2 years. Since I enrolled, my university has received multiple emails, multiple complaints about a variety of topics, with the end goal being to have me sanctioned or to have me expelled. That is their end goal. And that is what this AI page is now taking on. So I'll let the video finish playing.
None of her actions are illegal. However, she is walking a fine line as a law student at the Universidad Vizcaya de las Americas, an extremely prestigious university located in Puerto Vallarta. Currently, Annie has 6 TikTok pages, and one of them features her life as a law student at the university. She is constantly seen wearing her lanyard with the university's logo, and she is constantly filming on the university grounds and within the walls. Publicly representing herself as a law student of such a prestigious university is not illegal in any way. The university does have a student code of conduct and code of ethics. In my upcoming series, I am going to investigate her alternate ego on social media.
I do think it's funny that they mentioned how prestigious it is, but back when I enrolled, they would say how cheap of a university it was, that it was una escuela patito, and these were the same pages talking shit about the university that I had enrolled in, and now it's a prestigious university. So pretty much what they're saying is, what she's doing is not illegal, but she could be in trouble with her university for what she's doing on social media, right? That's the end goal. So she's launched a ton of pages. She's on Instagram. She was following me on every page. I did block her because access to me is a privilege, and I don't agree with my content being distorted in this manner. But I will tell you, I've never shared this publicly, that my university has been receiving complaints in the entirety of the 2 years that I have gone there based on my social media content. If it's not one thing, it's another. So obviously, these are conversations I've already had with my university. In fact, when I enrolled into my university, I had conversations with the coordinator about who I was, my criminal convictions, and my social media, because I knew that eventually it would be a matter of time before social media users were contacting the university, and that's exactly what happened. So this has been happening for 2 years. My university and I are on the same page. My coordinator is aware of my social media presence. And unfortunately, these are things that have happened for 2 years straight. So now this series, they've chosen to be public about it now, which I guess, let me give them some like pat on the back, because they've been doing this behind the scenes for 2 years. It's nothing new. Now, the user is saying, let's look into the code of conduct and see if she's violating something because she's presenting. Again, I've had conversations with my university about my social media because it has came up in multiple complaints sent into the school, which this tells me that these are people based in the United States, and they think that just like in the US, if you're going to a school and like you make a public statement and it gets to your university, they'll be like, oh no, we don't condone that, so we've expelled her, right? Or a really good example is the dad of the girl on Crash that just got suspended from his teaching job because they didn't like the comments that he made, right? So that is very much American culture, where like, oh, let's tell the employer what she said online and see how they feel about that because she's representing them. Those are things that happen in the United States. I attend a private university. I pay a service. So they're pretty much a service provider, right? Things down here don't work the same as they do up there. Me creating content outside of the university is my life outside of the university. And these are conversations, again, that we've already had. Whatever contract or code of conduct I am obliged to, it's very separate from my personal life. And yes, the whole image thing, that's an American culture thing, where, oh my gosh, look at what she said, and she's representing you, and how do you feel about this? And did you know that she's on social media saying this? That is very much Karen mentality. This is somebody that lives in the US trying to aplicarme una de los Estados Unidos. That unfortunately doesn't work. This has been happening for 2 years. For 2 years, my university has received constant emails, constant links to my videos, constant look at what she did here, look at what you said there, with the end goal to have me sanctioned or expelled. Unfortunately for them, it has not happened. It's just made more of a nuisance. And what the actual, it's kind of ironic because these same people that are like reaching out to my university and telling them that, oh, she's harassing this person. My professor stance on this was the exact thing that they are saying that you're doing is what they're doing. This is defamation and this is harassment, what they're doing by reaching out to us. And if there's any wrongdoing, if I'm participating in any illegal activity, those users, those emails have been encouraged to contact the corresponding authorities, which is not my university. So if you're watching me, for my trolls out there that are trying to get me into some legal issues, or she's doing this, she's doing that, the best place for you guys to go is to the authorities, to the courthouse, etc. My university is a service provider. I pay them for the education that they're giving me, right? So it's not like, it just doesn't work the same way that it does in the US. And so it's been 2 years of this. I've never spoken on it. I didn't feel a need to like give it airtime. I didn't feel a need to, let people know. They actually got to the coordinator. These are conversations we have periodically when I meet with the coordinator for cosas X, like, oh yeah, look, this came in. They're all forwarded to me. My university and I are on the same page, and I understand what's expected of me, and they understand that I have a right to whatever I do for work, for a living outside of the university. So I'm not bound to, the university doesn't control me, right? The university doesn't control its students. We are free to have lives and do whatever it is that we do outside of the university. This is also what you guys don't really see me vlog in school, right? Because I've always told you guys I keep my school very separate from my content. School is a part of my private life, just like my family life. Just, I do make my little vlogs. My school is aware of my vlogs. In fact, they follow my social medias. So I have seen these users start to tag the university, start to ask the university, start to leave hate comments on the university's page. And that is a direct response from CandICE and Julia. And this is what they've been doing behind the scenes for many, many, many years. It's nothing new. And I mean, I wish them luck, I guess. And the end goal.
$1.99 cheese Maybox. Annie is always 2 steps ahead.
Thank you, Moonchild. So the end goal is to have me sanctioned or expelled. That is what I believe. You know, I don't think it's worth going into the details of the things that have been sent into them. But I can tell you it's been a ton. That this has been people's go-to when they get pissed off at me before, during, and after the series is reaching out to my university. When I used to volunteer at Club Vallarta, they would do the same thing. They sent emails to the director. They linked my OnlyFans. How do the parents feel knowing that this girl on OnlyFans is working around their kids? Like, this is the type of harassment I have dealt with for many, many, many years. So it's not new to me. I saw a bunch of you guys messaging me, oh my gosh, did you see this? Did you see this? Yes, it's nothing new. I've had conversations already with my university about it because it's been ongoing for so long. And yeah, that's really it. You'll see a lot of them. And I wanted to just take the time to show you that they're intertwined to those content creators since 2023, 2024. They all follow each other. They're the first ones to follow the pages. In fact, on one of the pages, the Sabrina's Coffee page, her first follower was Julia Garcia, right? So it's just very telling who's behind these pages. It's the same MO that we've seen for many, many years. Their end goal is to interfere with my law degree. Why? Because they don't want to see me win. I remember when I first enrolled into school and I saw a lot of these pages talking about she's only doing it for content. She's not even going to last. Well, I proved them wrong, and not only did I last, I'm thriving, and my degree is around the corner, and they know that, right? So now they're kind of grasping at whatever, and they're using this CandICE series as a way to be like, look what she's doing. She's doing this. How can you stand for this when she's wearing your lanyard? Hello?
IVH60 sent $4.99 cheese Maybox. When you walk in the truth, nothing bites you, J in the.
Right. Yeah, when this was around the time that Sabrina had reached out to me to get our kids together when my kids flew to Utah. And then I saw her account, and she followed multiple pages that were Troll Annie pages. And that is the reason why I cut her off, and I didn't end up allowing my kids to go hang out with her, because it's obvious that she still has her hidden resentments. She follows all pages that are trying to get me, knocked off or whatever the fuck, right? It hasn't changed. So when you see these pages, I just want you guys to understand who's behind them, because I think that matters. Just like it matters to people that I'm the one, exposing CandICE. So check your sources, understand where this content is coming from, understand the messenger behind it, and that's why they have to hide behind AI pages. And I've told people that are like, when are you going to do a series on you? You do a series on me. You're free to create content on me if you want to. I just do find it very, very intriguing that they have to do it behind AI pages. And I think that's part of the problem why these little mini series that you guys keep trying to create with these fake pages don't hit, because you don't have a face, right? Nobody will have it in them to do what I've done with CandICE's series. Nobody will have the skill. Nobody will have the thick skin to be able to get up there with their own face, their own name, and explain why they're doing this and what's it to them, and this is what I'm doing. They have to hide behind all these fake pages that they've done so for many, many years. So again, it's nothing new. Understand where it's coming from, who your source is, who they're linked to, and that tells you everything you need to know. And then for those of you that have expressed concern, I've had these conversations with my coordinator for 2 years. We are on the same page. This does not, affect me with my schooling. As this creator even said, she's not doing anything illegal. And in the event that I was, you are welcome to report that to the corresponding authorities. It's not the university. The university is just providing me a service that I'm paying for. This isn't the United States where you're going to Harvard and did you see the statement this person made? Yes, we do. And we don't align our values with that, so we're going to cut them. It doesn't work like that here. That's what tells me that this is somebody living in the US that doesn't know what the fuck else to do and is trying to apply American cancel culture at a Mexican university. It doesn't work like that. So, any other questions? And then to the AI user behind this, I know she made a couple videos. Well, why did she block me? I blocked you because access to me is a privilege. I blocked you, so I got to make you work to steal my content so that you can re-narrate it with bullshit like this. That's why I blocked you. And I'll probably be hitting you with a couple copyright strikes in the near future. Nobody will be able to publicly, the day another creator can publicly get on here and do this, like, and if you want to go toes with me, you're gonna have to use your real name and real face. I might listen then. Until then, when it's coming from fake pages, AI pages, we know who's behind them. We know that most of these women, if we can call them that, don't have what it takes to get up here and go toes, which is why they need to gather a group of women in private and employ each other to make these fake pages, to try to, you know, I don't know what the end goal is besides let's fuck with Annie. It wasn't enough, everything that we did to her. Your Facebook post and the local Vallarta groups didn't work. Contacting everybody, you know, I know this is an expectation for me. Like, everything that I've been dealing with, this has happened for so long that literally I sat down with my university when I enrolled and I said, this is who I am, this is what happens, and this is what to expect. Okay, so when you own your truth, people can't use it against you. They've received multiple emails about my criminal convictions. How could you allow someone like this to study in your university? Right? So the best thing you can do when you're taking employment, when you're going into whatever it is that you're doing, tell people who you are so they can make informed decisions. That's what I've done with all of my clients, my university, with my collabs. This is who I am. And this is what you can expect to happen at some point down the road because this is what I do for a living. Right? It's nothing new. So, we're not new to this. We're true to this, unfortunately. I hope that answers your guys' questions about this wannabe Annie behind an AI page, because I looked at the page and it was very much trying to replicate what I've done with the whiteboard. Nobody will ever be able to do it like me, baby girl. Nobody. Sorry, you don't have the skill, you don't have the tact, you don't have the attention to detail, and you don't have the audience, most importantly. Without an audience, your content is nothing. So she's trying to piggyback off of my audience to go look at her shit. There she is. There's her page. You can go check it out. She's going to need an audience. It won't go anywhere without it. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Get that bag, girl. Thank you, bestie. And so the reason why I titled this live is CandICE's response is because I 100% believe CandICE and Julia are behind these pages. Just the same way that they were in 2023, 2024, 2025. Okay. And the only AI page we want to see is Bam Bam. Bam Bam, if you're in here, could you do I need to cash up her for a request, but can you do an AI video on her trying to get me expelled from my university instead of taking accountability? Please and thank you. I'd love to see that one. So for those of you that have asked, when is she going to respond? This is their response. This is consistently the behind the scene bullshit that I'm talking about and what they've been doing for many years. So those of you that have defended them and said, you're so obsessed, why are you doing this? This is harassment. No, what they do is harassment. What they do is harassment. What they do is obsession. Reaching out to my university for what? What does my university have to do with my content? What does my university have to do with anything that's going on here? Absolutely nothing. But you're reaching for whatever you can at this point because you have, I guess, nothing else. And it speaks for itself. Just showing what happened. Just recapping. Yeah, that's the type of shit. I'm not reaching out to CandICE's anything. I'm just making content. Making content off the content that she's made. And so, anyway, that's that. And you may come across a few more. They're alive and well. They go dormant for a few months, and then I get into another controversy, and they'll come out again. And they'll pick different, you know, last year it was I was a shitty mom. This year it's the university. The year before that it was my family. The year before that it was my baby daddies. The year before, like it's always a new angle, but it's consistently always just, it's like these are people that are waiting in the shadows for, like, preying on my downfall, waiting for anybody to have beef with me so they can jump in on it. These are the people that you will see go follow people like Carlos, people like Olga. Anybody that I have a controversy with, you will find these accounts front and center. And if you go look at some of these pages, you'll see that they made content during the Olga fallout. They've been making content since I've been talking about CandICE, right? They need an audience, so they'll latch on to any creator that is having anything to say or that I'm talking about, and then try to get their audience to go look at their videos. The TSP Bakery. The TSP Bakery is a perfect example of the behind the scenes that CandICE does, right? To try to create damage control. The same way that Julia told us that they were very much still friends, but they were unfollowing each other to create damage control for CandICE, right? So I still believe that they're friends. I still believe that they are in cahoots. And I still believe that there's many group chats behind the scenes with multiple people reporting and creating pages and comment this and ask her that and email here, the same way that they've been doing since 2023. It's their MO. There's nothing new. Reaching out to the university, wouldn't be surprised if it was Carlos. It's been happening since I enrolled. Okay, I enrolled 2 years ago. And from the moment I enrolled, I chose to publicize where I was going to school so that I could be in control of that. Because I knew, okay, if I try to hide where I'm going to school, it's going to make them look for it anyway. It's going to happen anyway. They're going to get to my school the same way they've gotten to every other collaboration that I've gotten. The same way they emailed the club. The same way they emailed my collabs onward. Anybody that I have ever publicly worked with, these people will create these fake accounts and send them stupid shit like this. Every single one of them. Right? So when I enrolled into university, I said, no, I'm going to let them know where I go to school. I'm going to have my conversations with the coordinator, let them know this is what it is. This is what you can expect. And that's exactly what it's been for 2 years. Everything that I predicted in my admissions interview, right? That unfortunately, part of my social media presence includes crazy people reaching out to anywhere that I associate myself with. They'll probably send you A, B, C, and D, and that's exactly what's happened to date. Okay, so when you see people mentioning my university, in fact, if you see people mentioning my university, give my university a follow. Yeah, help them get some promo out of this. It's a very prestigious school, as you've heard. They do offer online courses. They have campuses all over Mexico, and you can enroll from the United States. So at the very least, spotlight my uni, share them, repost them, give them a follow, and let's give them some positive interaction at the base of all of this, okay? It's Vizcaya. Vizcaya de las Americas is the university that I attend. And they are all over Mexico. Lots of programs. So if you're ever looking to get back into school, they offer a lot of online programs that you guys could enroll into. Yes, you can enroll with dual citizenship. So let's turn this into something good for the uni. Go give them a follow, grow their following. And I am on some other pictures because we've taken like school event pictures. Give me a shout out on the pictures you find of me at the university, okay? Just show them some love. How many years you studied to be an attorney? I'm enrolled into a 3-year program. You would need to talk to them about admissions. I do know that they will require like your obviously your Mexican documentation, but they do have online programs. So I'm sure there's an online admissions. I don't have personal experience with enrolling online. I enrolled on campus, but I do know. Look, let me drop the link de una vez. They have a Facebook page where you guys can keep up on events, but let me just take you to the homepage. They have 35 campuses and 1 virtual campus. So here is the website. You do have to be a Mexican citizen. Yes, so you at the very least need to have dual citizenship. They offer, so the virtual campus is the one where you would be able to enroll. They also have una prepa, they have un colegio, so they have all sorts. I mean, I personally wouldn't say they're like the top university, but they're a good university in my personal opinion. Prestigious, for her to say they're prestigious, I would say somewhere like UNAM, UDG, right, would be prestigious. I think Vizcaya is very financially accessible. A lot of my classmates, were born and raised here. And, I think I wouldn't say that it's like a top, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, I do think that it's also good promo for them, for people that are returning from the U.S. for whatever reason, or people still in the U.S. that maybe want to get a head start and get a degree out here. Prestigio La Uni de Monterrey, sí. For those and that's how I know whoever made this AI page is so disconnected from reality. There are some prestigious universities in Mexico. I wouldn't say that Vizcaya is again, top. When I hear prestigious, I would think UNAM, I would think UDG, Tec de Monterrey, things like that, some really well-known universities. A lot of people have never even heard of Vizcaya, right? And I chose them simply because they're nearby. They had the program, they had a flexible schedule, and all of that. So I just enrolled with my high school diploma. I enrolled my high school diploma. I had to get it validated from Mexico to here. I did have to go through a process for that and get my transcripts and all of that. And then the rest has been smooth sailing. Creo que primero tengo que tomar una clase de español. Well, my Spanish wasn't very good either, but it did develop as I was there. So yeah, I was looking at Puebla, and there's one in Puebla. My daughter's school took him on a field trip to una universidad en Puebla. I forget what it was called. My daughter's school has been taking them on school trips to visit universities, so they have options, and so they can start looking at where they want to attend. Good luck. Yes. I have a licenciatura en turismo. I will check them out. Oh, nice. Yeah, they have licenciaturas in a variety of different things. And I know that they're going to start. I asked my coordinator just last week if they're going to have any especialidades or any programs for maestrías, because I would love to continue there. And he said that they're going to be introducing una serie de especialidades. So possibly might continue going there after my licenciatura. I'm done. I'm not sure yet, but again, I still have a year left. So I know that makes a lot of people upset because, these same people behind these pages are the people that when I enrolled, I remember seeing them make content and comments about she's only enrolling for fucking content. She's not going to make it. She's not going to fucking make it. And now they're losing their shit because my graduation date is literally around the corner. I don't appreciate you abandoning us yesterday. I'm so sorry, bestie. I had school for one. I had a lot of homework. I got dumped with homework this week. I took some time to catch up on my other pages, Patreon, and I just knew if I went live, and I had parent-teacher conferences as well. So I had some stuff to do yesterday. So sorry. But I did miss you. When you graduate law school there, do you also have to take a bar? No, we don't have a bar. I will likely I probably won't even have to do a thesis because I will probably get mi título by promedio, by grade point average. So to get your título, you can do a thesis, you can get it through promedio, you can get it through something else. I forgot, but I just talked to my coordinator last week and he told me that if I stay on track, I can just get my título through promedio. That's the fastest, easiest, and cheapest, is just to keep my grades up. So, wait, what did the AI page say about your school? They just said they're going to start a series to investigate if I'm violating code of conduct in the school. So they can, try to get me in trouble with the school for the content that I've been creating about CandICE, which is so silly to me. the thought process behind that is actually really silly. Like, do you think students are tied to, like, I just don't understand the thought process behind believing that just because you go to school somewhere, you would have to report to them for everything. Like, not even a fucking employer could do that to you. You know, like, I don't know. The thought process is silly. I believe they're just doing that to, one, make me uncomfortable, and two, try to create repercussions for me for the content that I've made about CandICE. That is what I believe. And three, try to harass me like they have been behind the scenes. The only difference is they're now coming a little bit more, they're a little bit more bold now, doing it publicly. But not bold enough, at least, if you have to hide behind an AI page. Yes, they're going to foam out the mouth when I get my title. You are a student. I've seen people be like, people cling onto this attorney and law student title so bad, like, she's not gonna get her degree like this. What kind of lawyer is gonna? She can't be doing this. Where can he report? Like, I'm not even an attorney yet, and people want to report me to the Mexican bar if there was one. Like, I'm not even an attorney yet, and this is how I know it's people from the U.S. because this is the shit people love doing in the U.S. Reporting. This is some Karen shit. Report her to her job. Report her here. Report. Even you guys, let's report her to PPP. That's some American culture. I'm sorry. That is a mentality that is rooted in American culture of, I'm going to report you here. I'm going to report you there. I'm going to report you over here. It doesn't work like it doesn't work like that over here, honestly. It's just Karen mentality. Like, if I report her, she'll get fired. And this is what I've meant about, if I was to have a traditional job, let's say I worked at a hotel. This is exactly what they would be doing to my employer. Look at her. How can you employ her? Look at her. That's what they're doing with my school, or trying to, or what they've been trying to for 2 years. Okay. Anywhere that I am publicly linked to gets bombarded with messages, emails, complaints about me and about who I am, which is why I got to open up my own firm. Which is why I have to work for myself, because then I don't got to worry about, I am the boss, right? I am HR. Your complaint goes to me. With my university, all those complaints have been forwarded to me, and it's really just like why? Like, you should see some of the shit that's in there, and they can read through it, and like, if it was a legit something, tal vez, but you can literally read what they're sending and know that this is somebody that's just out to cause you harm. This is somebody that is engaging in harassment towards you. These are words from an attorney, mind you. A seasoned attorney with a master's literally told me the last time we talked about this. This is defamation. This is harassment against you. The same thing they're complaining you're doing is exactly what they're doing to you. And if they think you're doing that, they should report you to authorities, not to us. Right? So you're encouraged, if I'm violating something, people want me to get caught up so bad. People want me to be breaking the law so bad and in trouble for this so bad. You would need to report me to the correct authorities. Like, the school has nothing to do with this. Your complaint's probably going to get forwarded to me. We're going to have a hee ha ha, and then we move on. Right? I'm a free individual outside of school, and even in school. So that's the tea on that. Or either one encouraging your crew to call Julie's apartment complex. I simply planted an idea. So that tells me where you must be there. I didn't tell anybody to call Julie's apartment complex. I said it would be an irony if they received complaints the same way that she does to everybody else, right? I'm a big fan of matching Julia's behavior. I'm a big fan of matching energy, absolutely. And this is how I know it's people from over there that are grasping for anything to intervene in my life, right?
$4.99 cheese Maybox. What's stupid of them is that
Thank
they
you,
don't
Moonchild.
come forward and admit they've been trying for 2 years with no success.
Yeah, that part. Your hair looks so healthy. Thank you. I just got it touched up today. Now, I'm not on here telling people to stop doing it. Like, I'm not on here to tell you don't do this. You shouldn't be doing this to me. I'm very aware that the content that I'm creating is going to put me in the eye of the hurricane, and it's going to make people do stuff like this. I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware. I know what it is. I've been doing this for 4 years. I know that I know what these people are capable of. They've been doing it to me for years. I'm not here to tell you not to do it. I've been dealing with it for 4 years. I'm just here to tell you they've been doing this specific thing of trying to reach out to my university since I got there. So it's nothing new. So for those of you that were like, oh my gosh, Annie, have you seen this? I've been seeing it for 2 years, and I've never publicized it. I never talked about it, but I felt it was a perfect time. In fact, I was like, it's actually good that this came up right now because it ties into this. Let me show them how this ties into these creators. And let me share de una vez that they've been doing this to me for 2 years. It's not the first time my university has been hit up about me. Right? So that's all. I'm not here to tell people what to do and what not to do with their content. In fact, I've been the first one to tell people, if you want to make a series on me, make a series on me. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just here explaining to my audience what's going on. So they rest assured everything's good over here. We got it under control. And this is how far people will go to avoid accountability. Right? You know what? Let's get her, instead of taking accountability, let me hit up her school because fuck her. Let's see if I could get her in trouble with her school. That's the logic. That's the logic. Thank you, Moonchild, for the super chat. So, segueing into the next part of what we were going to cover today. Carlo Ortiz's sister reached out to me through Instagram DM a couple of days ago. And she didn't, gosh, my live account is lit up. There's so much engagement on this live account. It's crazy. For as much as people say they hate me making this content, my engagement is crazy on these videos. It's like people are just barely seeing my full series on my live account. Anyway, Carlos Ortiz's sister reached out to me through TikTok DM. And I'm going to read you guys a conversation for those of you that weren't here a couple of days ago. I will tell you guys that those of you that already watched this, there is no update to his sister. I haven't heard from her since. So if you were already here, she hasn't reached out since. But his sister, which I did confirm it's his sister because she sent me pictures of him. And it's an account based in Salt Lake City. It is legitimately his relative. Okay. So she messaged me on Saturday and she said she deported my brother to steal his money. Carlos Ortiz Torres. And I was like, I responded on Monday and I said, is there any documentation you can share to confirm he's your brother or any additional context? Right? Because I wanted to make sure, like, anybody could come forward and say they're related. I want to make sure, like, you are who you say you are. And she told me CandICE was working as a busser in a restaurant called Romano's Macaroni Grill around 2007. That's where they met and they were living together. And she was like, I need to ask my brother if I could talk about this, which I thought that was interesting because why would you not ask him first? Like, you already messaged me, so you're already talking about it without him knowing, right? And I said, it would be really interesting if you could give us more information, of course, with your brother's permission. And I said, is he still in Mexico? And she said, yes, he lives there. And I was like, do you know what money she owed your brother? Because remember in the police report and the protective order, it mentions that he was trying to collect money from her. So she told me they used to live together and my brother was undocumented back then. And he would he had all of his money in cash and he would store it in their apartment when he was with her. But she was also dating other men at the same time. And so she kicked him out of the apartment and he went back to pick up his money. And that's when she called the police. Now, this is spot on to what the police report says. Because remember, when the police was approaching the apartment, they heard him say, just give me my money, right? And then she also references the money in her request for a protective order, where she says, he says I owe him money and he's gonna send his big scary friends after me. Remember? So his sister explained that he was living with CandICE after they met at their job, which, remember that CandICE did an interview where she told us that she used to work at a downtown bar and she had to learn Spanish to flirt with the cooks. That's where she met Ortiz. They got into a relationship. They moved in together. The sister claims that CandICE was dating multiple men at the same time. She kicked her brother out, and his money was left in the apartment. And when he went back to get it, she called the cops, and that's when he got arrested and charged. And so then I asked the sister, do you have a picture with him? And she did send me a picture of him. I showed it in the live replay on the other day. And she goes, I'm going to ask him if I can talk about it because I don't know that I want to be involved, which again is contradicting because she was the one that reached out to me. And I was like, did you guys know that she was married? I started asking questions, right? Because I didn't know if she was going to come back around. I just started asking random questions. And she says that they started dating around 2006 until he got deported. Okay? Remember, he got deported in 2010 after her baby was born. So the sister told us that CandICE kept dating him until he got deported in 2010. And remember, I said that because they continued to live in the same apartment complex until after the baby was born. So I did ask her, do you think that's his baby? I asked the sister, do you think that's your nephew, girl? And she said, I don't know. Yeah. And so I said, I did ask her, like, why did you decide to reach out to me? What would you like me to share? And she's like, I reached out to you because I don't think it's fair that she is being portrayed as a defender of immigrants when she took advantage of one. She said she used him because he used to pay for everything. He paid for her rent. He paid for all of her living expenses. And then when he wasn't, like she said, when he wasn't of service to her anymore, she threw him out and she looked for another Mexican. That's what she said to me. And I was like, damn. I was like, I agree. That's literally what I've been saying, that she shouldn't be representing deportation when she had a hand in two of them. And the sister said she took advantage of my brother. She used him to pay for all her bills, kicked him out, took his money, threw him to the cops, and then found another one, aka Fidel. And then I did ask her if she met CandICE, and she said that she met CandICE twice. So this is somebody that met her in person that was related to Ortiz. Now, the reason I felt like talking to her kind of made me feel actually bad. Like, I already felt bad, but it was different because it humanized the story. You know, up until now, Carlos Ortiz has just been like a character, but this makes it real because that's his family, right? His family came forward and said, yeah, she took advantage of him, screwed him over, and they feel the same way. Why is she... And her words were, I don't think it's fair that she's painting herself to be the defender of immigrants when she took advantage of one. I would say she took advantage of two, but, you know, she's only vouching for her brother. And so she told me multiple times that she would reach out. She was going to try to make contact with her brother, Carlos Ortiz. I'm not posting the messages because she asked me not to, and I'm going to respect that. And she doesn't want to be involved. I also don't want to scare her away in the event she is able to connect us to Carlos Ortiz. So the last thing that I heard is that she was going to make contact with him and ask him if he was okay speaking about this, or if he's okay with her speaking about this. But I can tell you that I've seen the pictures. It is his sister. It is his sister. But also, I'm hesitant also because I believe that they're hesitating a bit because I believe there are undocumented people involved in this that are not comfortable coming forward because of their legal status in the U.S. I do believe that there are some issues and some concerns to come forward, especially publicly, because of their status. That's also another reason why I've chosen not to share the screenshots and the account tied to the information that I received. So yeah, like a typical macho Mexican. Yeah, so the sister said they were living together. He was paying for everything, rent, and then she just threw him out because, and remember that CandICE's request for a PO does state he got mad because my ex-husband reached out to me. And the sister said they were living together, but she was dating multiple men, and that caused issues, and she kicked him out. So all of it, the pieces fit together. They do. The pieces fit together. What the sister said is a lot of what we speculated. Encaja with the police report. And it was sad. It was sad. When I saw the picture of him, Carlos Ortiz was just a kid. If you look at his mugshot, he was like 18, 19. He was a young man. He was young, you know? And so what became of him? You know, for everybody that's tried to defend CandICE in the series about, yeah, well, her and Fidel are doing good now. Okay, well, what about Carlos? I've seen people say, yeah, well, she rectified her mistakes. What about Carlos? What became of him? What about his family that was impacted by his deportation? Nobody's talked about him enough, right? We've just breezed past him like he's just a character, just another mugshot. But that's somebody that probably still living with the consequences of what happened with CandICE. And there is no retribution there. There's not even any acknowledgement. And it was kind of sad when I saw his picture. It was sad when I realized I'm talking to a sister. I wonder if she's seen him since. He lives in Mexico now, and he has family in Utah still. So there's some family separation there at the root of that deportation. And mind you, the sister backs it up that CandICE called the cops to get out of paying him his money. He went to the apartment to pick up his money. CandICE called the cops and reported him for domestic violence. That was a straight lie. She stole his money. And it makes sense. She said my brother wasn't documented, so all his money was in cash. That also makes sense. He was working as a cook, right? Most undocumented people don't have bank accounts. So all his cash was in his apartment where he was living with CandICE. She kicked him out and didn't give it to him. But you know what she did give him in front of the cops? Is his backpack with his fucking fake social security card on it. Got him arrested, thrown in jail, and deported. That's sad. I believe it was a power move. Her calling the police in both situations was a way to stay in control of both men because she knew that they were undocumented. She knew. And then the next thing I'm going to show you, the irony of this video. So I got sent this video just last night by a viewer that used to watch CandICE back in the day. And I'm going to show you guys.
I just think that that's honestly, just some like fast food places.
Okay, let me airdrop these so you guys can see them on the screen. Let's take you guys back to CandICE in 2022 when she used to do live streams.
Honestly, just some like fast food places. If you want to know how he was picked up by immigration, I have
So this is a live stream of 2022 where she is retelling that big ass lie about his deportation story. This is the original story that she was given before I expose her in 2023.
Honestly, just some like fast food places. If you want to know how he was picked up by immigration, I have a full video of that on my YouTube channel. But essentially, he was at work. He was pulled over. Well, he wasn't driving, but the truck he was in like a work truck, and they were moving tools from one job site to the next job site because they had just completed it. And a cop pulled them over when they pulled out of the property and said he needed to make sure they weren't stealing the tools. When he did that, he asked everybody for an ID. My husband could not produce an identification. And at that time, that's when the officer took him into custody. They contacted immigration and it went from there. Not exactly legal. Yeah, not exactly legal, but when we
So she insinuates that he was stopped unlawfully. He was apprehended unlawfully. Mind you, the whole time knowing that he had a warrant for his arrest, that he had already been removed from the US, and she only told the story of the second deportation. And I hate how she always tried to make it seem like the system did them wrong.
talked to attorneys about it, they told us it would be really, really hard to prove. So there wasn't really anything we could do about it at that point. Yeah. So we are no longer in the immigration process, and we have no plans to get back into it. Nope. We were in Utah when it happened. We were in Utah. Yeah.
Hey, this is interesting. Check out this comment. How do you feel about Annie scamming people? Do you see that comment right there? This was during the 2022 hate campaign. I love that that comment was included in there. This is the narrative that they were creating with their content, their pages, their fake pages that they would comment on. This right here is it. Why do you think they're asking her about it if she had nothing to do with it? She was deeply intertwined in all that content they made about me in 2022, feeding that narrative that I was out here scamming people.
So we did everything that we did everything that we could to prevent the deportation, but it came down to one person, and they got to make the decision, and they said no. And Sofito was denied and deported. So,
mind you, she never went through an immigration process with him. Never. She never applied for any type of relief. Ever. What happened was he was placed into deportation proceedings, deported once, and then the second time he was in court for the charge of illegal reentry. She has no experience with actually going through a deportation or an immigration process. She did not apply for relief. So I hate how she was making it seem like they had tried to save his status, like they had tried to apply for relief. She never did. He got deported both times immediately. And the second time, the proceedings they were going through were for the criminal federal charges to determine how long he would serve in prison. It was not to try to fight for his status. And that was another misrepresentation that she constantly fed, that like she tried to fight for his status. She didn't. They never did. She has no fucking experience with filing for immigration relief at all. At best, she met with some attorneys, but she's never, and I feel like that's also like a process in its own, right? For those of you guys that have gone through applying for some type of status, for fighting for somebody's status, it's long, it's expensive, it's draining. And she sits here and she tries to appropriate like she's gone through it herself. She hasn't. Both times he was deported, she never applied for relief. Never. The first time he was deported within a month of getting arrested. The second time, it was automatic deportation because he had already been removed, and then the only proceedings they were being held for was the criminal charge. So that's another part where she's just misrepresenting.
why? Okay, so I have a question in here that said, why not give up your U.S. citizenship? Why would I do that? If it's to avoid taxes, then no, I'll just pay taxes. It's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where I was born. You know, that's...
I think that's very interesting how quickly she defended, why would I give up my citizenship? That's where I was born. Why would I give up my privilege? Is what she meant to say. All right, and then this one is another really good one. I want you, now that you know her story, her real story, and how I went down, I want you guys to watch this one.
And I just think that that's an awful thing to do to another human being, to even attempt to do to another human being. So yeah, because I think people are very, not everyone, but I think that there are a lot of people that are very naive to what comes with you know, your family or a loved one or you in particular coming into contact with immigration and having to deal with that system and deportation. I don't think the people fully understand like the gravity of that.
So this whole live is talking about it's so hard to deal with immigration. Like, I don't think people understand how difficult it is dealing with immigration. Knowing full blown well the whole time that she threw 2 men to immigration. And it gets better. It gets better.
But when people do that, it will come back to them later on. I agree. Karma always gets it always comes back around.
That's a really interesting statement she just made about karma in reference to reporting people to ICE. That was a really interesting statement she made about karma in that topic.
Oh, you guys talking to my mom. My mom's amazing. I wouldn't be such an amazing human being if I wasn't raised by my mother. So she had a lot to do with all of this. So
That is interesting. What an odd thing to say, knowing you fucking threw 2 of your boyfriends to immigration, Candelaria. What an odd thing to say. I would agree that karma eventually circles back, and perhaps this is some of hers. The truth coming to light. Hi, Tina. Welcome. I didn't bring a drink. I didn't bring cafecito today. Her smirk when she talks about karma. Yeah. No, but I do think it's interesting how quick and defensive she got when someone asked, why don't you give up your U.S. citizenship? Why would I? That's where I was born. To avoid taxes? No. Then how can I cash in on tax benefits? Why would she give up her U.S. citizenship? How is she going to get PPP loans? How's she going to cash in on welfare? Hello? That's why she got defensive quick. Candelaria. I've seen other people start to call her Candelaria, and I think it's funny. She want to be Mexican so bad. Here you go, bitch. Now we're gonna call you Candelaria. Yeli, welcome.
Just a membership.
Thank you so much for supporting my live streams. Thank you for joining our memberships. I hope you enjoy all the perks, monthly giveaways, stickers, badges, access to all of my live replays, and exclusive member-only posts. Link or pinned in the comment section is the link to become a baddie or bestie, or if you want to send out any tips through the TTS, it's also linked in the chat. You need help. Why? Es Candida, no Candelaria. Candushi. I've seen you guys come up with some crazy names. Okay, TikTok. Let me talk to TikTok for a minute, okay? But don't piss off my besties on YouTube. Why are you guys so mad at me? Y'all have been mad for a long, long time. Oh, thank you so much, Abril. Yeehaw. Thank you for the jewels, Luna. I am really finding it interesting. My comment section on this live account with all the replays is starting. I'm starting to see the tide turn. I'm noticing that a lot of people are watching the older replays of the series and catching up to everything based on the traffic that we got from the 911 call. The 911 call blew everything up, y'all. The 911 call, in fact, I think it's past like 500,000 views. My page, it's almost at 600K. Can we get the 911 call to 1 million? I would love it. One thing about me, I love blasting bitches and having that shit go viral. When I blasted Julia for all the hate campaign receipts, that shit hit 1 million. I was like, yes, point for me. Her 911 call is getting a lot of traffic, and that's what's bringing new followers and all the engagement to the old replays. Because people are like, what happened here? What's going on? Love that for us. So if you are on Tita. Thank you, Tita. Let me move it over here. Here's Annie's help TikTok.
Tenat661 has
Tenat.
just tipped $49.99 through Super Chat.
Thank
Here's
you so
Annie's
much.
TT, smiley face emoji,
Don't-
glowing heart emoji.
Don't piss off YouTube, okay? Don't make it rain. I hit mute with that chime. Sorry, it's just it's a YouTube thing. So I've started to see the comment section start to take a little bit of a turn. Also, I did do a little experiment on my main account where I briefly mentioned CandICE's story in Spanish, a difference in the way that people reacted. And it's what I've been saying, that Mexicans that live in the US are the ones that are batting for her. The ones that are disconnected from their own heritage, roots, culture, and are more concerned about their proximity to whiteness. Those are the ones that I'm seeing defend CandICE. Every account that I've checked that's in there rooting for her, all US based. But if you notice the response on the Spanish video, completely different. I've always told you guys, drop her story into a Mexican FYP, you'll see a completely different response. The video that I did comparing her to the Justin case. Don't group us with that scum. I'm not grouping you in there if you're not the one defending her, but I'm talking specifically about the accounts that I'm seeing vouch for her, like religiously. Very long and draining. Currently waiting for his removal of conditions for her husband's green card. Yes. Yeah, when you actually go through the immigration system, which CandICE has never. That's why it's not fair for her to get up here and make content representing like she's been through this. And yeah, when we went, you never went through it, you fucking liar. What you went through was criminal proceedings for unlawful reentry. She never applied for status because she knew from the get. If she was going to apply for status, she would have done so when he got picked up the first time. But she didn't because she was pissed off at him. So she fed him to the wolves. She didn't hire no attorney for him, and he got deported right away. Her opportunity to file for relief for him was the first time he got detained after the DV. She didn't. She let them take him. Then the second time, there was no possibility because he already had a removal order. The 911 call is on this account. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see it's an AI image of him and Fidel. It's got like 600K views on it. Tina, what's your job? Can I apply, please? You're such a baddie. Hi, Mimi. Agent who dealt with my Mexican husband's immigration journey. Candelaria is evil. Yeah, how do you guys feel, those of you that have actually dealt with immigration proceedings? And I think a lot of the audience that related to her were wives or spouses that had gone through the process themselves. But I feel like it has to hit different knowing her hand in that entire process. What an evil person. Me or her? I personally don't identify as evil. I do identify as a little rough around the edges, though. Awful. When I went to bat for my ex, wrote a statement on everything. Each phase of ALS is so stressful, from I-130 to 601 to waiting for the appointment and even wanting for that shit to come in the mail. It's a long process. It's draining emotionally, financially. She's never experienced it, never lived it. So for her to be like, yeah, we've tried everything, but he still got deported because of one person. That one person, it was you, bitch. He got deported because of you. Do you think Fidel knows? Probably not. No, I don't think he knows. I don't think anybody had ever heard the 911 call. I don't even think she remembered what she probably said. I believe she probably started to believe some of her own lies. Thank you, Becky. Sorry, TikTok.
At Becky Garcia D4P has just tipped $19.99 through Super Chat. Here's to opening your own office. Annie's law firm. In the making. Too many haters in TET.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate you guys so much. Si Dios quiere. That's my vision, is to have my own firm one day and, advocate for families like ours, people that have been deported. I think my vision is barely starting to come together, you know. Went through the process with my ex. It's long and very expensive. Still haven't divorced him. Yikes, yeah. Waited almost 10 years for the Ninth Court to overturn decision, which was supposed to only take 5 months. Damn. Yes, bestie, God is good. He is. When is the Julia files coming out? I'm still waiting on the green card files. We have to wait on receipts. There's no sense in, there's not much to cover on Torta until I get the files, right? I've seen a lot of people comment like, when are you gonna get to Torta? But like, can I be honest? Like, I just really don't find her that interesting. I don't find the green card files as interesting. I don't see as much demand from my audience either for the green card files. I think we're locked into the Candelaria files right now. But if and when we get them, you know, we'll go over them. But I'm still waiting. I think I posted an update on my Instagram story on that. But I just personally don't feel very, like, no sé, no me llama mucho atención, like, qué hueva me da. I do feel like she's old news, if I'm being honest. I do feel like she's old news. And most people don't even know who the fuck she is. At least on my platform. So that's why it's like, eh. But I am still waiting. And, you know, I'll share as soon as I get it and what it is. But I don't think we'll spend too much time on it, if I'm being honest. I just don't see a lot of interest from my audience in the Torta files. Like, again, most people didn't even know who she was when I started talking about her again. And I think I actually love that for us. I love that for her, and no one fucking knows who she is. It took us 4 years to get a green card and a lot of money. Yeah. Torta de pereza, no verdad que sí. Yeah, see, I have no clue, no interest. We really don't have interest in her. It was kind of like a passing time between waiting for police reports on the CandICE series, but it took us about 5 years to save up and find a good lawyer. We were super lucky because I was able to get his residency within 7 months. That's crazy. That's crazy fast. Congrats, Busty. Yeah, it's a long process. Very, very, again, draining, both emotionally, financially, everything. The wait time, the calling the attorneys. Torta only pulls stuff with a coffee in her hand. Yeah. To each their own. That's her soft life. Soft life, remember. That's soft. No water. Never no water. That bitch is so dehydrated. I just know she's fucking dehydrated. No interest in Torta grass. Yeah, see. Sorry, guys. My audience kind of dictates where we spend our time, and we're just having a time over here. We're having a time, and we don't have a lot of demand for green card files. Try being 12K in debt and sitting on the 75 country ban. I haven't heard of the country ban. She has to be pissing gasoline at this point. You know what? You're not. You're probably right, actually. Yeah. Yeah, we just, again, muy X. A ver, let me jump into, what am I doing tonight? Trevino. The only torta I want to see is the ones from the taco truck. I do think there's some stuff cooking over there in that series, but oh. Ouch, sorry, I'm watching some videos on Botox. Tell us what happens on the Zoom calls. Absolutely not, bestie. Those Zoom calls are not for public consumption. Yeah, so tonight I don't have a ton. Actually, I don't have anything tonight. I might actually just hang out. Seeing how our live goes. If we get If it gets crazy, I'll hang out this evening. Pero si no, it's been kind of quiet. Can we give the message to CandICE to give Ortiz his money? I wonder how much money it was. You know, I wonder if the sister's going to reach back out to me. Again, I haven't wanted to be a bug and been like, hey, so did you hear back from your brother? You know, what did he say? Is he going to talk to us? Just kind of, you know, want to let her come to me, follow up with me if she chooses to. But she left me on red last I saw. So, yeah. ¿Por qué existen viejas chismosas? Oh. ¿Por qué estás obsesionada a sacar la vida o problemas de otra persona? Lupe, pregúntate a ti por qué estás preocupada de lo que yo esté haciendo. ¿No estaremos igual entonces? Si tú me preguntas a mí por qué yo soy preocupada por alguien más, pero tú te estás preocupando por mí a la misma vez, ¿no es como contradictorio? ¿No es como estás siendo hipócrita? Tú preocupada de mí, preocupándote de que yo soy preocupada de alguien más. No sé, como que no tiene lógica, bebé. Imagine if he's in Hidalgo and he's gonna just well, they're only 2 hours away. You know, crazy world. No, I get a lot of comments like that. You're obsessed, but they're literally obsessed with my obsession. ¿No? Si yo estoy obsesionada, bueno, pues no voy a alegar. Sí, estoy obsesionada. Ahora, porque tú estás obsesionada con mi obsesión, tanto que me dejas varios comentarios, te incorporas a mi livestream para decirme, preguntarme, exigirme. Estarás igual de obsesionada que yo, entonces. Bro, you lost a lot of fans. Actually, this account has grown every single day. And I don't think they were fans, because if they were fans, I would have never lost them. I lost like 300 followers on Instagram. This account has been growing every single day. And this is an account where I'm actually creating the content that you guys say is making me lose followers. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. My YouTube has grown. I've gotten paid subscribers. I get tips. I get Venmos. I don't know. I don't think, like, I've lost some, but I wouldn't say they're a lot or the majority. The majority of my audience is responding well to my content, is asking for more, has kept the series going. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be making content about it. You know, if my audience wasn't reacting well, we wouldn't be here 8 weeks later, you know? I hope Carlos Ortiz is married. Yeah, that's another thing to take into account, no? He's probably rebuilt his life. So depending on where he's at in life is if he's going to be comfortable coming forward publicly. My YouTube channel is AnniGRC. It's actually linked in the bio of this account. Yes, and we love paying. Yeah. When people tell me that all the time, why are you so obsessed? Why are you still making content? Because I'm getting paid to do it. I'm monetizing off of this. I'm not just gonna, you know what I'm saying? There's a science, there's a strategy to all of this. And then those same people that want the series to stop are the same people still feeding the series, right? When you're watching the live streams, when you're commenting, even if they're not good comments, go look at my comment section. And they're there. Like, I'm letting people express themselves about the series. You know, I'm letting people tell me I'm obsessed. I'm letting people tell me I'm crazy. I'm this, I'm not. All of her fans are in there puking in my comment section. At least they have a space to do so, because we know that CandICE doesn't even give you all that. You know, CandICE doesn't even give you a space to ask a damn question. I got some interview videos with Julia in my recommend. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what it is, but she did an interview with Cynthia. That little aspiring podcaster with like 500 followers. I think that's the only person she's had on there. Hi, Miss. Thank you so much for the butterfly. The The haters are just as invested, and they're just as into this as you guys are. Don't let them gaslight you.
99 cents cheese Maybox.
Thank you,
Besties
Patty.
RXS2 TT. Hand over mouth emoji.
Thank you so much, Patty. Besties are obsessed too. Yeah, it's a team effort. But these same trolls that are upset about the content are just as invested, are following religiously, are commenting on all the videos. They're watching it. So you're just as into the content as the rest of us that are obsessed are. ¿Por qué no buscas a los ex de Candelaria? Queremos saber ellos qué dicen. Pues con decirte que la hermana de el que deportó antes de Fidel me envió un mensaje. Y tal vez, yo no voy a buscar a nadie. Pero si vienen a mí, si me envían mensaje, les voy a responder. Pero no me vas a encontrar buscando o enviando mensaje o contactando a la gente para que me den entrevistas. No es mi estilo. Siento que mi contenido, pues, está viral, right? Así que si hay alguien que quiere contactarse conmigo, lo van a hacer. Pero yo no voy a ir a buscar y enviar mensajes y oye, me cuentas y dime, porque es un contenido muy público que tal vez la gente no se sienta bien formando parte de por muchas razones. Imagínate que lo que estaba comentando el otro día es que la gente del pasado de CandICE, quienes estuvieran conforme con ella, la mayoría es posible que sean indocumentados o tengan familiares indocumentados. Porque recuerda que a los 2 hombres que ella deportó eran hombres sin documentos. Entonces, para que sus familiares vinieran, sus amigos o gente que conoce de CandICE, que sabe que la conocía en esos tiempos, que tal vez sepan cosas que no sabemos y quieran contar, están tomando un riesgo con hablar, porque tendrán miedo, porque mira lo que les hizo a los novios. Así que imagínate que tengan familiares indocumentados que quieran hablar, pero ahorita como están las cosas en Estados Unidos, ¿tú crees que se van a sentir seguros en enviarme mensaje para que yo los publique? Mira, el hermano de Carlos, que también está indocumentado, me contó que cuando conocía a Candace, bla, 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 bla. ¿Y qué va a hacer esta? Le va a echar la migra. O sea, lógica. Que la gente que conoce a Candace, que tuviera algo que decir que tal vez no sea positivo, va a ser gente indocumentada que la conocía en Utah. Sus amigos, los conocidos, los que hablan inglés, son los americanos, que no nos van a decir cosas porque pues son amigas de ella, right? Pero la gente que tal vez esté inconforme o tenga algo que contar, que tal vez le hizo otro novio, es muy probable que sean familias indocumentadas. Y pregúntate tú si van a querer venir a entrevistarse en mi canal. Hazme el favor, yo no lo haría. Me arriesgaría a que alguien me señalara y dijera, mira, esa persona está indocumentada y en corto le van a enviar la migra. Y no tenemos que decir que fuera CandICE. Sus seguidores, mira lo que me están haciendo a mí, que me van a contactar a la universidad para perjudicarme porque hablé sobre el tema de CandICE. Imagínate lo que harían a los familiares de gente indocumentada actualmente que quisieran hablar del tema. Los van a hostigar igual. Historically, anybody that speaks out against big white people don't end well, right? Look what's happening to me because I chose to speak out against Candace. So that's why you haven't seen people openly come forward. That's my belief. And even Carlos's sister was hesitant, I believe, because there's something there that she's not comfortable being publicly intertwined with this. Así que igual como están viendo que lo que me están haciendo a mí, que están creando cuentas, que contenido, que vamos a hablar aquí, me quieren perjudicar por haber hablado del tema, por haber expuesto lo que esta mujer está haciendo en México. Ahora me están señalando con la universidad, me quieren señalar en cuentas falsas, lo que me están haciendo es lo que yo esperaba, pero cualquier persona que haga eso también se lo hicieron a Alma. A la creadora de contenido Alma, que también reportó sobre el caso, mira sus comentarios. La quieren callar con hostigamiento. Así que esta es la gente que conocía a Candace en Estados Unidos y que tal vez tenga alguna experiencia con ella. Si yo fuera, tampoco quisiera que lo publicaran, porque pues ¿qué me va a hacer? ¿Qué me va a enviar? Her fan base is huge. Mira cómo la defienden. Mira cómo atacan a la gente que tiene opiniones o que está, pues, no de parte de ella, ¿sí? So, yeah. That's what I feel about why we haven't had people come forward. Well, we have, but they're not comfortable being publicized. Sus seguidores podrían tomar mandos en el asunto. They're already trying. That AI page is a great example, and I'm actually kind of glad it came up so I can make an example out of it and show you exactly the type of shit that these people do behind the scenes. But yeah, I did say, like, well, she contacted me for something, and she told me she just didn't think. I don't think she contacted me with the intention or idea that she was going to become a public part of it. I don't know what her reasoning was to contact me if she wasn't going to give me receipts, or what do I do with this information? Just say Carlos's sister came forward, but you need more, right? So I think that's where she didn't know if she wanted to be involved publicly, because that's what I was trying to do. Like, well, what do I do with this information if I can't publicize it? And for me to publicize it, I have to accredit where it comes from, and I have to show that you're related, you know, to give it, to make it valid information. So, yeah. If you did in the US, imagine what you're doing in Mexico, scamming people too, most likely. I mean, that's something people have been saying for years. If I was scamming people in Mexico, I wouldn't just be out living my life. Things are handled so differently here. That's why I think it's funny that people from the US constantly try to make these narratives that, oh, Annie's out there scamming people. If people are out here scamming people, it doesn't go unpunished, if you know what I mean. Like, they don't just get to scam people and get away with it. Do you see where this is going? Do you see where I'm trying to get at with this? If I was scamming people, you think I would be just living my life freely? And you think those people that were being scammed weren't going to do something about it? Who am I scamming, right? This is what these people, CandICE and fucking Julia, have been trying to say since 2022. She's scamming people. Who? Not a single person has come forward since this narrative got put out there that I scammed them. From nowhere. Bring me a receipt or shut up about it. Because this scamming narrative is so old, but no receipts have ever been produced. Nobody's ever came forward and say, Annie scammed me by doing this to me. Where is it? And I've been at this for almost 6 years. You know, so receipts or shut up. All the raffles and cup sales, and I've been doing it for years. So I think if there was something there, it would have came up by now. If someone had a bad experience, it would have came up by now. If I was actually scamming people, what is the definition of scamming? I don't know, taking their money and running with it and cheating them out of something, right? So where are they? You delete all the receipts. If the receipts exist, I shouldn't be the only one that have them. If receipts existed, the person that got scammed should have them. Or report pages. Because all you guys do is make fake pages with distorted content. Give me somebody, bring somebody forward with a real face, with a real experience with me, and put a receipt to it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I block fake pages. I copyright pages that steal my content. And if such receipts exist, and I delete them, well, then the other person should still have them, right? If receipts exist of some type of transaction, I'm not the only one that has the receipt. The person that has them, that claims to have gone through something with me, should have the receipt as well. Nothing of this ain't fucking about me. This is about CandICE. You know? My series is not going to be about me. If you want to call me out for something, you do what I did. Build an audience. Make a presentation. Do your researches. Get your sources. After 2.5, almost 3 months, these are the same people telling us that CandICE doesn't owe us any explanation. And you think you're going to come onto my page, onto my series, and then demand an answer from me? Go prove that shit. Go get an audience and go push it the same way I've had to do over here. Because if CandICE doesn't owe you guys accountability, I sure as fuck don't either. If CandICE doesn't have to explain, I sure as fuck don't either. Especially especially with no receipts. There's been a lot of pages that have surfaced during this campaign, during this series, about Annie did this, Annie did that, but did you know this about Annie? And let's expose Annie, and Annie over here, Annie over there. No, nothing behind it. It's just a bunch of people pointing their fingers, and that's why it's not hitting. That's why it's not clocking, Steven. You know? It's your MO. It's what you guys have been doing for many, many years. And ya no encuentran ni qué decir. Oh no, Cassie, you're gonna have to go to TikTok for that. Over absolutely not messing up the vibes on YouTube. And now you will get out of the classroom. I do block people, especially on my live account. Bye. These people that swear they're gonna expose me think that I'm gonna make it like give them my platform to run with their shit. When they get mad because I'm blocking them or removing them, yeah, what did you think? You think I'm gonna put a red carpet for you on my own fucking page to run your dirt on me? Bye. Go make your own. Go find someone else. Like, they get so mad. Yeah, but you block. What else did you expect me to do? Invite you on here and be like, okay, this is what this person wants to say about me. Y'all are so silly. Of course you're going to get blocked, removed, copyrighted, strike, deleted. Bye. This is I'm a dictator over here. No, you don't have free speech. This is the Annie show. I write the narrative here. Go build your own page over there. Go build an audience and then go run with whatever you want to do. But they swear I'm going to invite them on here and be like, okay, look what Favor les hice at the AI page this morning. I gave her a little shout out, showed you what she said. Here's where it comes from. Here's who it is. Now go do your shit over there. And whoever wants to watch will go watch. But y'all swear I'm going to bring you on my page and share my audience with you so they can eat your shit about me. Like, that is crazy. And then these are the same people. Like, CandICE is blocking everybody left and right. I thought we're all blocking people that don't gas us up over here. And I've been very fair. If you look in my comment section, I'm not blocking everybody. I'm not deleting negative comments. They're on there. I pick and choose who I want to block, particularly fake pages. Yeah, I'm not going to give fake pages access to my content if I can avoid it. I might have to make them work to steal my content, to repost and rewrite and make hateful content about me. Why would I continue to give them access? That AI bitch was following every single one of my accounts today when I went to go check. Even my fucking doggy page. Bye. I'm not going to give you free access to my page. Access to me is a privilege. Now you're going to have to go make some fake pages, go make a new fucking email and go struggle a little bit. Hello? No, you're not fucking up the vibes over here. We're trying to maintain some vibes. Silly. And they're like, and you block and? Yeah? Yeah, I'm not going to make it easy for you crazy bitches. You crazies? If it was a real person, okay, let's let her talk. I didn't block the bakery when she came in here reclamándome and, you know. But when it's a fake page, the audacity you have to be mad about getting blocked when they're fake pages or people hiding behind troll pages, AI pages, whatever you want to call them. That's crazy. Imagine me. It's like the Bam Bam page, right? The Bam Bam page is not me, but I've acknowledged that it's probably one of my girls in here. But so everybody knows who the AI page is. That's one of Annie's. It's like me saying, I don't know who that is. Who could possibly be doing that over there? Oh my gosh. No. Bitch, I'm over there reposting, liking, commenting. Like, this whole idea of hiding behind fake pages is so silly to me. Like, how old are we? If we're going to be talking shit, let's talk shit with their chest. The fact these people have to make fake AI pages, why? Because there's something they're afraid. Because this is what I think. If you have to make a fake page, a troll page, there's something you're afraid, something that you're doing, whatever you're doing online, you know, would implicate you in your real life. Okay, this AI bitch that's talking about, let's see if she's breaking the code of conduct. I guarantee you the reason why you had to make an AI page is because wherever you're employed, enrolled, or wherever would not approve with what you're doing. Okay, and this is exactly what I mean by you don't have what it takes to run a series like I do. to get on here with your own name, your own face, and take the criticism for speaking out or speaking against or exposing. Nobody has that shit in them. Most people are too worried about their fucking reputation, which is why you got bitches with AI pages, which is why you have people like CandICE and Carlos doing it behind the scenes. Nobody has it in them to run the series like I did. Nobody has it in them to get on here and not care what people are going to say, how people will react, and if this is going to tarnish my reputation. And that is just being a real bitch. So you bitches out there don't have it in you, which is why it will never hit. As long as you have to hide behind a fake page, because that tells me what you're doing, you're scared will get back to your real life and will implicate you somehow if they knew what you were on here doing. Everybody knows what I'm on here doing. I'm using, it's me. Hello. Yes, it's Annie. It's me. It's me. Here's how I got it. Here's where I went. Look at this bitch. It's my voice. It's me laughing. It's me. It's me. I'm not blaming it on nobody. I'm not posting shit and then on a fake account and saying, wow, I don't know who did that. Here you go. Let's watch it together. Let's laugh about it together. Right? So just like these girls, whoever they are, that are trying to work against me, you're going to, in order to actually work, like challenge or whatever the fuck you're trying to do, you would have to get into the same arena, which you can't with fake pages. You can't with the way that CandICE moves. You can't with the way that Julia moves. And that's why we're here today. Porque no han podido. Most people shy away from being this controversial. They do. Most people would be concerned about, this doesn't look good. I won't get collabs. They're going to say this about me. I'm dropping followers. What if this gets back to my job? What if my man sees this? Okay, I'm a controversial creator where I just don't care. And I think that bothers people, that what can we do for her to stop, to make her uncomfortable speaking out like this, making content on this? Nothing. Because the more you tell me not to do it, the more I'm going to want to do it. The more you tell me don't start, the more I want to warm up. That's how I'm wired. And then the whole receipts, right? People are mad about the receipts. Well, you shouldn't be sharing this. You're exposing this. And if I wasn't sharing receipts, people would say I'm a liar and I'm just doing this for clout. Imagine if I didn't have receipts. They would be mad because I'm saying this without receipts. But because I'm posting it with receipts, they're mad because you shouldn't be posting this. It's invading her privacy. You could never win. You can never win. CandICE erasing every day. Every day. In real time.
Like, she does so much for us.
And then I already unsubscribed. I'm unfollowing. Okay, bye. Bye. No need to announce. All right, let me catch up. I don't understand how she had a big following when she thinks us Mexicans are illiterate. Deanna, bestie, thank you so much. She just sent me $5 Venmo for blocking the trolls. Deanna appreciates me for blocking you psycho bitches. You're just up front and don't hide behind the screen. And it's like some people would prefer for me to hide behind the screen, pretend I'm this perfect little white dove that does no wrong. And then imagine if behind the scenes I had somebody doing the dirty work for me. I don't know. That just seems, that's not my style. I don't like that. Hey, I don't like that. You know, that's why I criticize him so much, because CandICE pretends to be this problematic. She never even post about you. She acts like she's not doing shit. And then behind the scenes, oh, the shit she's doing, including these troll accounts, these are CandICE and Julia. You know, I don't have respect for people like that. Like, stand. You gotta, if you're gonna do something, you better be able to stand behind what you did. If you're gonna say something, stand on what you said, right? You don't have to be pretty. You don't even have to be proud of it, but stand. You did it. You said it, right? That's why I think her video that she made in March or February is so distasteful, where she said she made a whole video addressing everything and said, and then I'm never gonna talk about it again. Answered no questions, just shut the door. Wait, what? Where's your transparency? You know, where's your transparency? Annie, don't you dare send me a Starbucks cup, and I better not see you picking my name for any giveaways. I see what you did there. Yeah. Thank you, bestie. We do have a lot of trolls today, though, I will say. What was it? What was it? I feel like it comes in waves. Like when I drop the 911 call, hella trolls. I don't feel like I've done anything recent. Why are so many of you here today? I was just kind of curious. What can we ¿A qué podemos dar las gracias a tu visita? Hi, Mike. Mike, by the way, we still gotta do our YouTube video. I haven't forgotten about it. It's just been crazy. Here we go, block. Absolutely. Fake accounts with crazy vibes, absolute block. But we do have more than usual. Or maybe they're more vocal. Maybe they feel like se han de identificar mucho with what I said today because they're acting crazy. They're more verbal. Usually, I know I have a lot of trolls in here, but usually they just watch, screen record, and then go post on their fake accounts. But today, they're very verbal. It's because you missed me. It's because I didn't go live yesterday, huh? Yeah, it's okay. I see what's going on. Even my trolls are mad that I didn't show up yesterday. One day, y'all. One day. And it was a peaceful day. I've been trying to finish that fucking documentary, The Crash, and I always fall asleep. I get to like half of it y me duermo. Maybe finger claps. It's probably them with fake account. Yeah, it's probably, is it AI bitch in here? No, not our AI bestie. The Crash was pretty good. I haven't been able to finish it. I'm between that one and Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. CandICE throws the stone and hides the hand. So who is the pappy? I don't know, but we did ask the sister. And the sister said, no, mind you, the sister didn't say no. She just said, I don't know. And she did tell me that they were dating that whole time. So who knows? I honestly don't care at this point who's a pappy. How can they not see that she took advantage? They can, but the messenger is a problem. Guys, what are we doing for dinner today? Ya me dio sueño. Sueños. Yeah. A ver, what else are we gonna cover today? I had made a list. We covered. That's really it. We don't have. Are we coming to an end? Oh no, unless Carlos's sister comes through, and I say this all the time, and then something else comes up. But I feel like we are. Are we concluding CandICE series soon? Oh, PPP fraud. I think the sister messages are the ones that stir the trolls. Maybe. And I haven't really publicized them or publicized any replays about the sister reaching out. Maybe because we were talking about the uni. Maybe they got mad because I was. Maybe they got mad because they thought the university content was going to hit or something. Or I was going to like not talk about it. I don't know. But on the university topic, y'all, make sure you give my university a follow, a repost, or reshare. Drop some love in their comment section. Concluding or to be continued? Yeah. Julia was on the same podcast. She's been on the podcast like a million times. I don't know why she keeps going back on. I think we watched one. It was so boring.
At Laguerita70 sent $10 cheese Maybucks.
Thank you,
I
Linda.
noticed that the kids in CandICE don't cry anymore when they leave to the USA. They used to make it emotional because they left Fidel behind. She now has a stoned face when blogging Lowell.
Oh, that's a good point. Linda, thank you so much. I forgot about that. That's the replay I posted this morning. Have you guys noticed how she keeps putting Diego at the front of all the content lately? Like an extra amount of Diego. And I made a video about that this morning. And then people were like, yeah, but your kids. Maybe that was what pissed them off too. When are you going to go into the green card files? As soon as I get receipts. Here's another one. No, don't get sleepy. Yeah, so I made a video it was just a clip of my replay. But she's been posting nothing but Diego this, Diego that, Diego's eyes, this is what Diego did, Diego. Which to me is diabolical because coming from somebody, and I don't do family vlogging, but it's also no secret I have on occasion shown my kids or done a vlog here or done a vlog there, right? I know I avoid posting my kids, especially when I'm in some shit like this, because then my kids are going to get dragged into it, or they're going to make comments about my kids, or they're going to imply this, or I would never post my kids in the middle of some shit like this. So to see her put him at the front of it, especially with the Who's the Pappy series, I would be pulling him back from all social media during all of this. To see her put him at the front was kind of crazy as a mother.
And Karina Goff sent $2 cheese Maybucks. Because
Thank
he
you,
is
Karina.
so happy to be back home USA, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Probably. I don't know. I just have found it kind of distasteful how in the middle of all this, especially because some of the series is the Who's the Pappy. And I think that's her way of, again, hiding behind him to try to deter focus from me to my son. And I just think that's such a low move as a mother. She herself said he doesn't want to be on social media. All of a sudden he has the front of it. That poor kid has been exploited for content since he was little. She made him a YouTube channel, and I think it's still up somewhere. And he was tiny. He, you know, from the beginning, she put him in front of the camera. And that kid's entire childhood is on social media. It reminds me of those kids that come from family vloggers that eventually make content about how they were exploited as a kid. The more I look, the more... I have no comment on the speculations of what he looks like. Bam Bam, did you make Bam Bam? We requested a special request. Can you make a video of her trying to get me expelled from the university for the next AI video? I saw her last one's the Big Bird one. Bam Bam be getting views. Have you seen her videos though? The serial deporter living her best life, 250. Like, Bam Bam be doing her thing. She gets, some of her videos have hella views. I just know Candice hates you, Bam Bam. Wherever you are, Bam Bam, Candice hates her page. And I know she has you blocked, but I guarantee you she checks your shit every single day. Especially because there's videos on there that are getting views, right? So if I'm Candice, I want to know what the hell they're posting next. Yes. We need to help. I want to know, how does Bestie make these videos? She mentioned that it costs money. Is there an app? How is she generating these videos? Because they are kind of cool. She was trying to make her sound like a Ryan show thing. Bam Bam is the AI page that makes like funny videos about the series. Girl, I'm trying to repost them as much as I can. AI apps. Hey, I'm gonna drop her. So she has her Cash App listed in the bio for requests. I don't have Cash App myself, or I would send her at least $5. Cooperachas 224 is her. Or she also said to donate to the hotline.org, donate.give.now. But yeah, she gets a lot of views on some of those. I feel like that troll AI page is trying to, again, replicate our series, but they could fucking never. Down to the AI page. Because, and mind you, the AI page was not my idea, okay? Bam Bam just came out of nowhere. And I saw it, and I was like, yo, this is funny. But even down to that, the trolls are trying to replicate the AI content, the whiteboard series. You will never. Show us on with the... Okay, you guys want to see AI Bestie's new work? Okay, let me see if I can get my phone to connect. I just got my hair done today. And you know, like when you get your hair dyed, it leaves your scalp like irritated. Okay, receipts. All right, here's AI Bestie, and it lists her Cash App at the top. She did make a specific post about.
Your transparency is everything. Makes it impossible
Thank
for
you,
the trolls
Natalie.
to come after you.
Thank you so much for the tip. Bam Bam is my bestie on my other page. Bam Bam, yeah, Bam Bam comes through. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate you. And I do agree. I think it's hard for them, which is why they're grasping at straws. Like, damn, what the fuck can we put out there to make her uncomfortable? And again, whatever information you put out, whatever it is that you find, it will never hit like this, because I never hid who I was. I never hid my story. So even if you found something new, I just don't believe that it would hit the same, because the reason why CandICE's series has been so intriguing and we've been so invested is because we were lied to from the beginning, and everything was a facade. So we've spent weeks unraveling the truth, and you would never find anything like that in my story. I'm sure you might be able to dig up things of my personal life that maybe I haven't publicized and things like that, but it doesn't change my story. It wouldn't change my storyline. Right, so it would just come off as haters trying to, talk shit because they're mad at her for exposing CandICE. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a good time for you guys to try to expose Annie, because it just comes off as retaliation. And again, I just don't think it would ever hit like this, because there's nothing in my story that I haven't already shared. But I will tell you guys that every content creator has things that they keep private. I try to keep my private life private. And I think those are the things that people try to dig into to try to make me uncomfortable. I've said multiple times, my school is part of my private life, which is why now they're reaching in over there, right? So you could kind of read between the lines and understand these are people that are trying to make me uncomfortable with content creating, right? With the things that I'm currently speaking about or whatever. Anyway, let's play it. 224 Chicago area. Bam is smart, perfect time to gain. Yeah, this AI idea, I will say, was clever. All right, let me show you the last.
El monstruo amarillo viene. Hello from Mexico. I'm back, muchachos.
¡Eres una gringa polla!
Yeah, Bam Bam's almost to 1,000. The comparison would be free.
Candice Marie Smith, you are hereby charged for PPP loan fraud, falsifying tax returns, grand theft, and deportation conduct. I sentence you to life in the U Maximum Security Facility.
Not the life and
Candice Marie
not the
Smith.
deportation conduct.
Look, sis, I've made all this from my sheep. More carne asada and onions for me.
A ver, ¿qué tienen ahí?
Look, sis.
Saliste con Candy Smith de Salt
So this was the video that got the sisters' attention.
Lake City entre 2007 y 2015.
He's an illegal alien and I want him deported back to Mexico.
Saliste con CandICE Smith.
Yeah, that's all the new ones. That's AI bestie. Was the Carlos sister fake? No. I believe it is her. Her comment is gone from that video. She probably doesn't want to be identified. I'm actually not expecting much. I honestly don't expect her to reach out to us, if I'm being honest. Sorry. I gotta fill this out real quick. What comment did the sister delete? So the sister had originally commented on the bestie page, and I don't know if she commented before or after she DM'd me, but I think when she got my attention, she went and deleted it. I do know that she didn't want to be identified, so maybe it made her uncomfortable. Native Rain, thank you so much for gifting membership. She just gifted 5 memberships to 5 of you that were in here. Lucky Ducks. Lucky Ducks. I'm very sorry. Two seconds. Copy. She probably got hella notifications. I think she was just not comfortable with, like, she seemed hesitant once I started asking questions, but like I said, she did provide enough information that I do believe it's her, and she sent me pictures of him. I can't give memberships, it only has jewels. Bam Bam is a big yellow bird. I don't know why they named her Big Bird. Thank you for the gifts, bestie. Alright, content. I think I need coffee, guys. Me pegó un sueño. Tina, do you see an option for membership under the $1 coin? She's goofy and awkward. Just now watching a documentary on the Power Rangers and mentioned one of them charged for fraud, those PPP loans. Why do I feel like everybody and their mom pulled PPP loans? Would you make a Michelle series? No. I don't think anybody's series would ever hit the way CandICE's did, if I'm being honest. And the only reason why the series was created is because of the demand from my audience. I really don't think a series on anybody else like this, there will ever be any demand for it. Like there's a reason why people were so like sucked in and invested. And the only reason why I created this, I had no intention of creating a series about CandICE at all. She was going to be another episode in the exposing deportation stories and then move it along. And we've been stuck on her for 2 months. Simply because of the demand and all the things that were coming out. It was crazy, but it was never like, oh, I'm going to make a series about CandICE. I actually didn't want to make a video on her. I don't even want to make a video on her because every time I would make content about CandICE, I would get so much backlash. It was just annoying. But I knew that there was people waiting for that video, for that specific episode on the series of exposing deportation stories, because she was the inspo, right? So it didn't feel right to not at least have an episode on her, because she is what inspired the series. So I was expecting just to make a video and then a live and then move on. That was it. I did not expect to actually end up into a full-blown investigation on her story the way that we did, but partly because there was such demand. There was people watching, there was people invested, there was people sending me money to do this, to do that, so naturally it grew. But I had no intention of doing a whole full-blown series. I will say it was very, very entertaining for myself. I had a good time. It was like, you guys ever played a video game that you're having a good time and you don't want to log off? That's how I felt during the discovery part of her series. It was fun. It was exciting. It was like nerve-wracking, like waiting for the files, for the response, the appeal. It was like a true crime case almost. Her story has more layers than the cebolla. I had fun too. So why do you continue to be invested? Because my audience likes it. My audience likes it. I enjoy it. I make money off of it. Yeah. And imagine all the things we haven't found. We haven't found the fucking NBA. I have not been able to get to the bottom of the NBA, and that bothers me. I don't want to close up the series until I have all my answers, and that is one thing that I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel satisfied with the NBA. The NBA is still MIA. Can you please do more lives on YouTube or Facebook? Porque no tengo TikTok. I do all my lives on YouTube. YouTube is my primary platform for live streaming right now. TikTok is secondary. Did you ever get the 911 call for the first deportation? Not the call, but we did get the report, and there wasn't much to it. I was gifted a membership. Thanks, community. Awesome. Welcome, Mary. Native Rain is she's the GOAT for gifting memberships. I always see her gifting people. Also, there was just so much in her giving a different version. Yeah, I didn't know there was all that under all there. There was a lot stashed in different corners. I mean, it was crazy. There was people that kept saying this is better than Netflix. There was people. Remember the 7-hour live streams? That shit was crazy. The longest. Guys, I'm getting sleepy. I could see it in my face. Do I order a macchiato or do I log off and take a nap? Oh, man. Your lives and my work day go faster. A macchiato. Nap and come catch fresh tonight. Also, yes, if I take a nap, I could come back in a couple hours more refreshed. Or the coffee, we need you here. You should take a nap. Take care of yourself too. I think the vicarious motivations that most people wouldn't in person talk shit or call out would enjoy you taking your shots at every flawed and racist way. Candelaria and the trolls probably already got to her. I'm leaving for yoga, so maybe a nap. A nap. It actually wouldn't even be a nap. I actually have to get off and make dinner. I gotta get off and make dinner, and then I'll be back maybe after dinner. I don't really have much more to cover today, though. That really was all I wanted to cover. I wanted to cover the fake pages, the trolls, the sister recap, and just let you guys know, there wasn't any update. Get on with your life. Who are you to judge someone else's life? I used to enjoy watching you. You clearly still enjoy it because you're still watching. Get on with your life. You see, you guys contradict yourselves every time you drop a comment. And my favorite is people that are like, I used to follow her and they're still fucking following my content. When you see people in the comment section talk about, I'm unfollowing, just know they're not really unfollowing. No, they're taking their follow back, but they're going to be coming back to look for me and comment and engage and like, and they're still gonna be watching. My most faithful followers are the upset followers. The ones that don't like my content and follow me the hardest than people that actually enjoy my content. It's interesting to me to see those people like, I used to enjoy your content. I used to follow you. You still fucking do, you weird bitch, because you're in here. Yeah, you're still watching, engaging. That means you're still following and you're still enjoying. And it's even weirder if you don't enjoy it and you're still watching it. Like, do people not realize cómo se exponen with these comments? It's weird. We are not unfollowing it. We are reporting the account. Good luck. Good luck. Make sure you report all 6 of them. In the YouTube and OnlyFans and the Patreon. It's too late. I remember when they used to do that to me and they would mass report. Oh, that was so annoying. That was so annoying. Perez is a joke. Wait, who are we talking about? Did you ever hear from Perez? Oh, he's her friend. He's a hella joke. I didn't know they were friends in real life, so that makes sense when he got on live and he was like, well, what do you mean? You know, he was Perez is pro CandICE. Yeah, if people weren't engaging, I would just disappear from your FYP. Or you could just block. You know, that works too. Yeah, TikTok. TikTok se enoja. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I like to finish just on YouTube. Oh, look, here's another. Can you talk about your old stuff? I like your old stuff. Oh, those comments are annoying too when they're like, I used to like your old stuff. Y'all act like I stopped posting anything else. Okay, so go follow the other channels where I post the old stuff. Are you engaging on my other accounts or just the account that you don't like? Yes, TikTok is so fucking toxic. Like, I see a lot of those. Can we go back to your old stuff? Bitch, the old stuff never stopped posting the old stuff. The old post is still, the other accounts are still very much active. You know? But I don't understand people's logic in engaging in the content that they don't enjoy, but not engaging in the content they claim to enjoy. That tells me it's not that you like my old shit. You just want me to stop talking about this because you don't like, you're a fucking CandICE fan undercover. Do you have a video with Rafa once he disconnected from CandICE? Yes, I do have the live replay with Rafa on the baddies tier. It's on there. The whole thing. I didn't have that one for public replay. I just got the vibe from Rafa. He didn't care to be all over TikTok talking about this, right? I feel like he did that out of feeling like that was the right thing for him to do and try to get me vindication. He did that because he felt it was the right thing to do to speak out against CandICE. But also, if you notice, Rafa's not really, you know, all up in this like fucking Carlos or he's not a social media guru the way most of us are that have been involved in this. So I very much got the vibe that he wanted to come, share his piece, and then just check out of it, which is why I haven't, publicized that live replay. I also feel like people were during that live didn't get it. They wanted him to share receipts and tell details. They wanted him to talk shit about CandICE. People that were watching that live were disappointed because they wanted him to talk shit about her, and he wouldn't. And I believe he was very respectful, and he wanted to avoid giving details. People expected him to get on there and expose her, right? With receipts and screen recordings, my style. That's not his style, right? People didn't want to just take what he had to say, and they criticized him a lot during the live, like, oh no, he's doing this. I don't know, he's doing that. They couldn't hear him. They didn't understand him. And they were people that were just there for dirt, and they wanted to see him talk shit about her and to her. That is what I believe, just like Carlos. They were expecting him to get on there and be fucking messy like Carlos, and that wasn't his style, and I actually respected that about him. He didn't care to be all up in the chisme. He had a very like OG style to him, like don't really want to be messy, but this is what it is. He has appeared recently in the CandICE series. He's popped into the comment section here and there. And yeah, that's really all. What video has a current pic of Carlos Ortiz? The last live replay from a day before yesterday. Analia, thank you so much for the jewels. What are these jewels, by the way? I haven't figured out what they're for, what they do. Yes, I respected his style and the way it was very respectful, you know. Look at the difference between Carlos and Rafa and how they responded, and that tells you everything you need to know, right? Our worst enemy is our own paisa or culture, citing or defending white people because we work or live around them. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. YouTube said I had them for the free. I started tuning in not years ago. I don't care about old or new. My fight and passion is ingrained racist ideals of Republican/white conservative. Oh, the gifts convert to money. Okay, I figured something like that, but I don't like YouTube doesn't have a section where it tells me like your jewels are this or turn into this like it does with the super chat. So I've always wondered like where do they go? I think they replaced stickers. No, we still have stickers in here. Yeah, we still have stickers in here for the win, Papa. You know, he did share in a live. He jumped into a live last week and he said, you know, at first I felt like I was unsure if I was doing the right thing to walk away from CandICE and Carlos, but this tells me that I did the right thing. So think about it. Like when Rafa walked away from CandICE, like that was a big opportunity for him, right? He would have probably taken off with Candice's help, her platform, a podcast with her. And that in turn was going to turn into money. And I'm sure he was going to be paid for that platform or for that podcast, right? So when he chose to walk away from that, he was walking away from an opportunity, probably a financial opportunity. And I'm just speculating. He hasn't shared any of this with me, but I can only assume that he walked away from an opportunity not only to blow up on social media, but to monetize, right? And I think that's, and he voiced that, you know, I wasn't sure. I thought I was making a mistake, but now I know that I was right, and I'm glad I listened to my gut. I think it's funny that they never dropped their podcast. And if you guys remember, Carlos was like, oh, just wait, Rafa, big things are coming. What? The only big thing coming your way is a big fat warrant, Carlos. Yeah, that was a time. I had a time watching Carlos crash out over Rafa, like cutting him off. That was funny. All right. You're awesome, bestie. Thank you, Mireya.
At Maria Mendoza 50.
That was a crazy time.
Just a membership. You're awesome, bestie.
2 months. ¿Qué más, bestie? Ya me pegó el hambre. I have to wait till the kids get home. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like the live on your way in or out. Mega weird that Candice chose people who were associated with you. It was strategic, bestie. It wasn't weird. It was strategic. He knows exactly. She knew exactly what she was doing when she came after. Like, use some common sense. Out of all people to collab with, and mind you, her platform is huge, and they weren't even following her. Majority of them weren't following her. Cisco wasn't following her. Rafa wasn't following her. I don't know if Carlos was. Madre del Guaracho wasn't following her. She strategically went after all the creators that I was publicly collaborating with last year. And that's weird. But she purposely did it. I think she was intimidated by the fact that I was collaborating and creating content with these creators, and I was being put on news on they were running stories on us as a group. I think she was intimidated by the fact she wasn't a part of it because she has to be the face of it. She has to be front and center, and she didn't have control of that collaboration. She didn't have control of those interviews. She wasn't the front and center of all those interviews. So what did she do? She started trying to befriend all those creators and pull them her way and do projects with them, because she has to be the center of it. If she was to do a podcast with Carlos and Rafa, who's going to be the face of it? She is. Right? When she did her stories, the Thanksgiving, who was the face of it? She was. She was intimidated by the community that I was bringing together online, because she wasn't a part of it. And she knew she wasn't going to be, because there's beef between us and she didn't want to work with me, right? So what did she do? She started picking off one by one all those collaborations. She took Carlos first, then she got into Rafa, and then she tried to befriend Olga when we fell out. She followed Rich Boy. Every single one of them, she tried to bring them into her corner. And that tells you everything you need to know about where she stands with me and who's jealous of who and who feels a way about who. Oh, yeah, she needed that. She needed Rafa for the podcast. They both did. That's why they didn't launch. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I guess we'll see what other crazies pop up on TikTok. You know what's interesting is you only see that response of like the troll accounts and all that shit on TikTok. You don't see it on YouTube much. Come in. Hello, my love. I'm so proud of you. A ver, did you get your report card? No. Not yet.
I had a test.
Oh, a test. I'm so proud of you, mamas. See, I told you. Good job, mama. I'll be right out, okay? Sorry, and mind you, they aren't blowing up with her support. She just dimmed them out. Yeah. I'm able to hear Rafa talk more than 0.5 seconds. He was going to be la portada, pretty much. I don't know if he realizes that, if Carlos or if Rafa realized that, but she was just going to be the background. She was going to be the platform to views. And then she was going to be like, they were going to be her títeres. Sorry, there's no other better word for it, but she was going to be, you know, those, what are they called? Those little wooden toys that like you grab and like you make them move and stuff. Well, that was going to be CandICE. Ooh, AI page. Bam, bam, idea. Make her hold those two little fucking toys, and one of them was going to be Rafa, one of them was going to be Carlos, and that's what she was going to do with the podcast. She was going to machine it. Come in, the puppet master. A little bit. I ordered your fidget spinner.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Es que
All right, we gotta wrap up. Let me go do the mom thing. I'm tired, and my kids just you know that thing kids do when you give a little and they just want more and more and more and more and more. That's my kids right now. I'm tired, Grandpa. All right. I love the video when she asked who's your favorite boyfriend. Oh yeah, that's an old one. You've been around for a minute. She put me on blast. That was like in 2023. Enjoy dinner. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little power nap. So I might be back in the evening. I might not. I honestly don't have much to cover this evening. What's tomorrow? Jueves. Oh, that's what to say, lashes. I'm supposed to get my lashes touched up tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. Me siento un poco apagada and I didn't do coffee. That's probably why. Lashes. I have a busy day tomorrow. All right, y'all. We'll regroup. I might be back in the evening. Don't quote me on it yet, though. Let me regroup. Tomorrow we'll be live, probably around the same time, like 3-ish p.m.ish. Did the sister get back to you? No, nothing on the sister yet. And honestly, you guys, I don't think she's gonna get back to us. It's not giving. She came off very hesitant. She left me on red. I think that's probably the extent of the information that we're going to get from them, if I'm being honest. I really don't think she's going to come back, swing around. And then they said that she deleted her comment from the Bam Bam page. Yeah, so it doesn't give me like... But it's also kind of confusing because like, okay, then why did you come forward to begin with? Just to tell me? Like, I already knew what you're telling me. My series said what you said. But to come forward and like not give me something, I do think there's something there. There's a reason they're hesitant. Maybe she's scared as well. And she did tell me she didn't want her name mentioned, but at the same time commented publicly on the Bam Bam page, right? So that was already out of my hands. And by the time she told me that, I had already said her name. She turned off her comments. And that's new. It wasn't like that the other day. So I think people started commenting on. I think y'all might have scared her away, whoever it was. Not saying you guys, but I think she got scared away. She turned off her comments, deleted the comment on the Bam Bam page, and left me on red. So I think she probably got overwhelmed and maybe hadn't thought it through when she commented on the page. I do know she didn't want to be publicly mentioned. So I think it's safe to say that she got scared away. There might be other people that reached out to her. She might have been getting hate comments. We don't know. We don't know, right? I do think she could be overwhelmed. I was trying to ask her as many questions as I could yesterday without asking too much because I had her in the chat in the live, and I didn't know if she would swing back around. And maybe she was live streaming. Yeah, maybe she didn't know that I was going to publicize, and maybe she wasn't ready to be part of it publicly. But I mean, otherwise, what's the point of you giving me the information? You know, the series has been very public, so anybody that comes forward probably knows. Well, if I reach out to her, she's going to post my messages. So that also tells us that that's probably a reason why people could maybe haven't come forward is they don't want to be publicized. They don't want to be made a part of it. And honestly, I'd rather them not come forward because what am I going to do with that information if I can't publicly share it? Nothing. I already know. I've already speculated what you said. But if I can't verify this, if I can't tie it back to a source, if I can't publicize this, what am I going to do with this DM about you telling me about your brother and how you knew Candice and how you met her? You see what I'm saying? It's pointless. And also I understand the situation that maybe there's a legitimate reason why they don't want to come forward. And I sense that they're probably undocumented, maybe something along those lines. What if Carlos did go back to the US? You know, I don't know. There's just a lot of possibilities. And do they even want to rehash this out decades later? You know, that's also something to consider. Carlos, I'm sure he's rebuilt his life by now. Is he in a situation or position where coming out would ruffle his personal life? Probably. Think of it if it was you and your ex that did you dirty from like 20 years ago, you know, is getting blasted and people are asking you, can we interview you? I wouldn't, honestly. That's like, if that's me and I'm not a public person and I'm not on social media and they want to use me to expose my ex, personally, I wouldn't participate. Probably, especially if I'm in a relationship, if I've moved on, if I have kids, what is that gonna do for me? You know, unless they're still resentful towards her. And are they gonna be ready to take the backlash of what her followers are gonna say? I'm sure they're seeing how they're eating me alive. right? So all those things, I think, bear a difference, are things that people consider when should I come forward to share this information with Annie, you know, including the sister. So, what's the title of the live with Rafa? I honestly don't remember it. You'd have to look through the member only content, but it's there and it's not very old. I want to say that went live with him 2 or 3 months ago, maybe. So anyway, so we will bookmark it there. Thank you so much to all of you that supported my live stream through memberships, engagement, TTS, super chats, gifts, besties. Thank you so much. Venmos as well. Las aprecio mucho. Off topic, do you think she lied about the tools and equipment? Yes. Yes, I do. Based on what I know about her, I do believe that was not real. Especially the part about the truck. If it was insured, why her that we made a video on that early on in the series. That was a strategic post to grift. And it worked. People sent her thousands of dollars. People sent her new tools. Like that, the whole thing, I believe, was a facade. I want to know if he was there when she was calling and heard her calling the cops for DB. No, you can hear her on the call. She says she's in the apartment, and she says he had already left. Which, why did he go back? The fact that he went back when he saw the police, we've never really dissected that, but think about that. If he had done what she said he did, why would he go back knowing the cops are there, knowing he has no papers? Unless he didn't think he would get arrested. Unless that's not what happened and he wasn't expecting to. I have a hard time believing that he socked her in the face and then went back knowing the cops were there. I don't think he knew he was going to get arrested. Maybe he didn't hit her and it was just an argument of some sort. Maybe she hit him and that's why he walked up to them and he's like, "You're here for our fight." That's the only thing that he said. And then they just cuffed him and took him and he couldn't share his side of the story. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of speculations, but nonetheless. All right, besties, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be on tomorrow around 3-ish or so. I'll try to let you guys know on the wall. Make sure you turn on your notifications so it notifies you. I think YouTube is a lot better about notifying you guys of when I go live. And just reading the comments. All right, besties, as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting my live streams. For those of you that join me through engagement, memberships, tips, tricks, TTS tips, a huge shout out to my gifters on these live streams that make my time worthwhile on here so I can hang out with you guys and justify it for hours on end at a time. I'll be on tomorrow. Let's see, haven't really been making a ton of account anywhere else. Oh, just a quick recap. Let me recap what we covered, right? So we covered the troll accounts. We covered the AI page that everybody was blowing me up about this morning. Did you see the AI page that's going to start investigating your university? We covered a recap of the Carlos Ortiz sister coming forward. And that's really it. There wasn't much. There wasn't anything crazy. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Sometimes I think there's going to be no more and then we get something super crazy. So I'll keep you guys looped on my wall. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.